Water is one of the most important substances in the human body, and yet it is also one of the most overlooked, because unlike food, sleep, or exercise, people rarely think about hydration until they feel thirsty. But by the time strong thirst appears, the body may have already been operating with less water than it needs. And because the human body is made largely of water, nearly every system depends on proper hydration to function effectively, including the brain, muscles, heart, digestion, and temperature regulation. And when water levels begin to drop, the body starts sending signals that something is missing. And one of the first signs your body needs more water is constant fatigue, because many people assume that feeling tired automatically means they need more sleep or more caffeine, when in reality mild dehydration can reduce physical performance, mental clarity, and overall energy levels. And since water plays a crucial role in transporting nutrients and maintaining circulation, even small deficits may leave people feeling sluggish and drained throughout the day. And another major sign is frequent headaches, because the brain is highly sensitive to changes in hydration. And when water levels decrease, the tissues surrounding the brain can temporarily shrink slightly, creating tension that contributes to headaches. And while headaches have many possible causes, dehydration is one of the most common and often one of the easiest to overlook. And another warning sign is difficulty concentrating, because the brain relies heavily on proper hydration, and even mild dehydration can affect attention, memory, and mental performance, causing people to feel distracted, forgetful, or mentally slow. And many individuals blame stress, lack of motivation, or poor focus, when the real issue may simply be that their brains are not receiving the hydration needed to function optimally. And another sign involves dry mouth, because saliva production depends on adequate fluid levels, and when the body begins conserving water, one of the first changes may be a dry, sticky feeling inside the mouth. And although this symptom seems obvious, many people ignore it and continue drinking very little water throughout the day. And another important signal is darker urine, because the kidneys play a central role in maintaining fluid balance. And when water intake is insufficient, the body attempts to conserve fluids by producing more concentrated urine, which often appears darker in color. And while urine color alone does not tell the entire story, it can provide useful clues about hydration status. And perhaps one of the reasons dehydration is so common is that modern lifestyles make it easy to ignore the body's signals, because people become busy, distracted, and accustomed to running on low energy. And over time, mild dehydration can begin feeling normal, even though the body is continuously asking for more fluids to support its countless functions. Another sign that your body needs more water is frequent feelings of hunger, because thirst and hunger signals can sometimes feel surprisingly similar. And many people reach for snacks when what their bodies actually need is hydration. And while food and water serve completely different purposes, the brain occasionally interprets mild dehydration as a desire to eat, causing individuals to consume unnecessary calories without addressing the real issue. And another common sign is dry skin, because the skin depends on hydration just like every other organ. And while drinking more water does not magically solve every skin problem, inadequate hydration may contribute to dryness and a less healthy appearance. And another warning sign is dizziness or lightheadedness, because water helps maintain blood volume and circulation. And when hydration levels fall, the body's ability to deliver oxygen and nutrients efficiently may become slightly compromised, leading some people to feel dizzy, especially when standing up quickly. And another symptom involves muscle fatigue, because muscles require water to function properly, and dehydration can affect endurance, strength, and recovery, causing physical activities to feel more difficult than usual. And this is one reason athletes pay close attention to hydration, because even relatively small fluid losses can influence performance. And another sign many people overlook is bad breath, because saliva helps wash away bacteria inside the mouth. And when saliva production decreases due to dehydration, bacteria may multiply more easily, leading to unpleasant odors. And while bad breath can have many causes, hydration is an important factor that often goes unnoticed. And another indication that your body may need more water is increased irritability, because hydration influences brain function and mood. And studies have shown that even mild dehydration can affect emotional states, causing people to feel more frustrated, anxious, or mentally fatigued. And because these changes occur gradually, they are often attributed to stress or personality rather than hydration status. And another fascinating aspect of dehydration is how subtle it can be, because severe dehydration is usually obvious, but mild dehydration often produces vague symptoms such as low energy, poor focus, headaches, and mood changes that people rarely connect directly to water intake. And this makes dehydration particularly easy to ignore because the signs do not always appear dramatic enough to attract attention. And yet they can still influence how people feel every day. And perhaps this explains why simply increasing water intake sometimes leads individuals to report feeling better without making any other major lifestyle changes. Because hydration supports so many biological processes simultaneously that even modest improvements can affect multiple aspects of physical and mental performance. One of the most interesting signs that your body needs more water is reduced physical performance, because the body depends on fluids to regulate temperature, transport nutrients, and support countless chemical reactions. And when hydration levels drop, physical tasks often require more effort, causing people to tire more quickly than usual. And another sign involves constipation, because the digestive system relies on water to help move waste through the intestines, and when fluid intake is inadequate, the body may pull more water from the digestive tract, making stools harder and more difficult to pass. And another signal many people experience is an increased heart rate during activity, because the cardiovascular system must work harder when hydration levels decrease. And although the effects vary depending on the individual and the severity of dehydration, some people notice that activities feel more demanding than they normally would. And another overlooked symptom is difficulty recovering from exercise, because hydration plays a key role in recovery processes, and inadequate fluid intake may leave muscles feeling more fatigued and sore after physical activity. And another sign that often surprises people is feeling unusually sleepy during the afternoon, because many individuals automatically assume afternoon fatigue results from poor sleep or heavy meals, while dehydration may also contribute by affecting circulation and cognitive performance. And another important factor is temperature regulation, because sweating helps cool the body, and water is essential for this process. And when hydration levels become insufficient, the body's ability to manage heat may become less efficient, leading to increased discomfort during warm conditions or physical activity. And another interesting observation is that many people who spend most of their time indoors still underestimate their hydration needs, because they associate dehydration primarily with intense exercise or hot weather, when in reality, the body continuously loses water through breathing, sweating, and normal daily functions, regardless of activity level. And this means that hydration remains important even during relatively sedentary days. And perhaps one of the biggest misconceptions about water is the idea that thirst is the only signal that matters, because while thirst is important, it is not always the earliest sign, and many people spend long periods mildly dehydrated before feeling strongly thirsty. And understanding this helps explain why paying attention to energy, mood, concentration, and other subtle symptoms may provide valuable information about the body's hydration needs before more obvious signs appear. Ultimately, the 7 signs your body needs more water reveal how deeply hydration influences human health. Because water is involved in nearly every process taking place inside the body. From circulation and digestion to brain function and temperature control. And when water intake becomes insufficient, the effects often appear in unexpected ways because the body does not simply shut down, but instead begins making adjustments and sending signals designed to encourage fluid intake. And these signals may appear as headaches, fatigue, hunger, poor concentration, dry mouth, darker urine, or countless other symptoms that seem unrelated at first glance. And perhaps the most remarkable thing about hydration is that something so simple can influence so many aspects of daily life. Because people often search for complex explanations when they feel tired, distracted, or unwell, without considering whether their bodies are receiving enough water to perform basic functions efficiently. And another important truth is that hydration needs vary between individuals, because factors such as body size, activity levels, climate, diet, and overall health all influence how much water a person requires. And this means there is no single number that works perfectly for everyone, and paying attention to the body's signals remains one of the most useful strategies for maintaining proper hydration. And perhaps one of the reasons water is often underestimated is that its benefits are not dramatic in the way caffeine or sugar can be, because water does not provide an immediate rush of stimulation, yet it quietly supports the systems that allow energy, focus, and physical performance to exist in the first place. And this reflects a broader lesson about health, because many of the most important factors are not the ones that create instant excitement, but the ones that consistently support the body day after day. And in the end, the 7 signs your body needs more water are reminders that the body is constantly communicating through sensations, symptoms, and changes in performance. And learning to recognize these messages can help people understand their needs more clearly. Because hydration is not merely about avoiding thirst, but about providing the body with one of the fundamental resources it requires to function properly. And when those needs are met, the results may not feel magical, but they often make everyday life noticeably easier because the brain thinks more clearly, the body moves more efficiently, and the countless systems working inside us can operate closer to the way they were designed to function.